Vanakkam and welcome to ART, அதாவது Avinash Ravachandran Talkies. On day 2 of my special show 100 Days, 100 Films, we are going to look at the 1999 Hindi film Kaun. It's purely coincidental that Urmila Matondkar features in both the films of day 1 and day 2. Unlike Chanakyan, where she had a very, very small role, in Kaun, which is sRamGopalVarma's film, written by Anurag Kashyap, which I think is his first solo writing credit, if I'm not wrong. Kaun is a brilliant suspense thriller, which I think is one of the finest films that was made by the beautiful combination of Urmila and sRamGopalVarma. People do speak about Rangila a lot. Of course, Satya is spoken about as it should be. But I think Kaun should have received a lot more love than what it does, because it is a very, very taut thriller. It's, I think, just a 95 minute film. Again, it happens over one night, and it features top talents like, of course, Urmila Matondkar. There is Manoj Bajpayee. There is Sushant Singh. The premise is very, very simple and hence very, very, very effective. It is a lonely night. There is one woman all alone in the house. There is a news about a serial killer on the loose. There is a random stranger springing up at the doorstep. There is one more stranger finding himself inside the house. What happens when these three people start interacting with each other? From here, it's a beautiful cat and mouse game of you understanding where your allegiance lies. Do you believe this story? Do you believe that story? Do you believe this third story? And is any of it true? Is it all of it true? Or is one of them, who's the killer? Who's the victim? Who's the survivor? Who is the real perpetrator? A lot of questions get answered over the taut time period of just 90 odd minutes. I think this is the strength of the film, and it was also a time when a lot of song and dance was happening all over Indian cinema. And here is someone, of course, one of the pioneers of the non-mainstream Indian cinema movement in the 90s. sRamGopalVarma decides to do away with the songs. There is tension, there is more tension, there is some more tension, and then you have a wonderful climax that reminds us of a lot of films that followed afterward, which just goes on to show that here was one of the OG suspense thrillers. And sRamGopalVarma revels in this space. He builds up the scenes, he builds up the intrigue, he makes you want to believe all of them. He plays to the strengths of the tropes, he plays to the strengths of the characters, he plays to his own strength to ensure that at no moment in the film that you feel you understand everything. Of course, now, after watching a lot of these films, thrillers, chamber dramas, everything, at some point of this film, you might actually know what's going to happen. It isn't predictable per se. It was not predictable in 1999, but in 2024, almost 25 years later, you are aware of the kind of beats of this genre. And I think that is probably reason why Kaun might not really intrigue you the way it did me when I saw it all those years back. But do watch Kaun to understand the kind of films that we used to make very, very consistently. It was not a one-off thing. It wasn't something that happened once in a blue moon. At some point in Indian cinema, we were making a lot of such films. And I think over the years, because of these films not being spoken much about in the mainstream, we tend to overlook these films. We tend to overlook the experiments. We tend to overlook the kind of experiments within the mainstream space that a lot of Indian filmmakers did, especially sRamGopalVarma. Of course, as I said earlier also, we do speak about his Satya, we should speak about his company. There's a lot of fun to have with Dodd. Among all this, I think it's very important to talk about Kaun also. Thrillers must be songless is what I strongly believe, and one of the reasons why I strongly believe that is the fact that a film like Kaun existed, and of course it has brilliant performances by the primary cast. Manoj Bajpayee, of course, is a revelation. So Sushant Singh, and as someone who genuinely loves the matured performances of Urmila Matondkar throughout the 90s and afterwards, I do strongly believe there's a shame that we're not using her much, or I think she's taking a sabbatical from cinema. It's high time she comes back, or I just believe she's a fine actor who doesn't get spoken about in the same breath as we do a lot of her peers and contemporaries, but she definitely deserves to be one of the most beautiful actresses who's very, very talented. I know this slowly sounding like a tribute to Urmila Matondkar, considering I did Chanakyan on day 1 and I'm doing Kaun on day 2, but I think it's okay. If this show can somehow become a retrospective of Urmila Matondkar's best films, then so be it. So sRamGopalVarma's Kaun is available on YouTube. Do let me know if you liked the film or if you didn't. That's it from me, and thanks for watching ART, அதாவது அவினாஷ் ராமச்சந்திரன் Talkies.